back to more Disney tales of terrible.
Yeah, they're fun though.
Should I repeat the Shaq one?
No!
Well, I'm gonna do it then.
No.
Yes.
Oh my god. Shaq took a shit backstage and clogged the toilet. Not really something you'd be surprised by, but it was all we talked about for a week.
Number two.
Oh god. Yeah, here's something that's not as gross. It's interesting. I haven't worked there, but here's something interesting. During a security threat like 9/11, cast members head to the back of the park, link arms, and slowly head to the front. Normally, Magic Kingdom takes like 2 hours to clear out, but forgetting the exact number, but it took them around like 15 minutes on 9/11.
Damn.
Friend of mine who is a CM, not sure, costume manager maybe, I don't know, at the time of 9/11, has told me something similar, and how bizarre it was to be in the middle of the day, it's the middle of the day, to be standing on Main Street with the park empty, not knowing if it would be a terrorist target or not. It's gotta be surreal.
Yeah, for real, right?
Here's some more stuff. Let's see. Ex-cast member here, a little late to the party, but when I worked there, everyone was fucking everyone. Employees are pretty much split into 3 types of people. Old bitter cast members, those who have worked there forever. Disney freaks, weird kids that love to play in the parks by themselves and never shut the hell up about all things Disney. And regular folks who eventually turn to the first type. Also, everyone seems to be gay, which is great. If you're a gay guy, you have a lot of options. If you're a straight guy, girls will love you because you're a rarity even if you're ugly. If you're a straight girl, well, there's a good chance you fucked an ugly dude. The Disney college program is a beautiful thing too. Those kids love to party. Disney's pretty big on appearances and their standards are high, which is part of what makes it a great company. But behind the scenes, you'll find some really ghetto shit. I remember some ride control boards being held together by duct tape.
Wow.
Also, this happened at Disneyland, which is significantly smaller than Disney World, but I imagine things were more or less the same. Shit was wild though, and so much fun. Someday I'd love to share my journal entries of my time there. So, someone asked for stories. It stood out to the comment. See, fights were always fun. One time I saw a brawl break out, like 16 versus 16, and not just dudes either. I'm talking kids, ladies, old Mexican grandmas. It was wild.
Wait, do they have a specific version of Smash that we're never gonna get?
Pretty much.
Wow.
It's pretty much real life. The graphics are incredible, and you can really feel the punches.
I don't know. I've always thought the real life style of graphics it's kind of lacking.
Yeah.
God, that chicken. Yes.
You love those eyes.
No, I don't. Even in the show, when she showed up, I was like, what the hell is this?
But just what is her name exactly?
Bitch, I don't know.
Some bitch I don't know.
Yeah.
Interesting
Sounds
surname.
right. It's all one word too.
And it's the stupidest episode in Famofu. Hooray!
Oh, the beach episode. Oh god, here we go. But yeah, anyway, once things settled down, I was inspecting the scene. Things got pretty bloody, and I noticed in the middle of this mess a Disney guest button that read, "I'm celebrating." Yeah, it reminded me of the comedian's smiley face button from Watchmen. Oh, and one of my first holiday shifts, New Year's Eve 2011. The place was uncomfortably packed, shoulder to shoulder, with angry guests waiting for the fireworks show in front of the castle. One particular drunk guest got tired of not being able to move through the crowds and headbutted my coworker when he couldn't get past. My coworker's a pretty big dude, so he gets right back up and lays this dude out with one swing.
Nice.
The drunk guy turns out to be an off-duty cop. My friend spends New Year's in Disney jail with a broken nose and gets fired that same night. Apparently, you're never supposed to fight back, even in self-defense. I think the employee handbook even mentions the proper course of action is to lay in the fetal position until help arrives.
No, until Hype arrives and
Until everyone's like,
yeah! Everyone's just
Knocked
dancing
out.
around your fetal position corpse and laughing at you.
Disney policy.
Yep.
Give everyone that fantasy. Also, kids love to sneak in drugs for grad night, but they suck at keeping that on the low, and everyone likes to bang on small word during slow nights. I don't blame them though. Backstage is a primo spot for fun activities. Well, for cast members anyway. Not small word, small world. So the small world ride or whatever. Everyone likes to bang on small world during the slow nights.
Dude, what a small world.
What a small dick, more like.
Oh, I thought you'd stop saying that.
Oh god.
oh, this suit.
Yeah.
I love it. That said, Ryoko, you're retreating because you have like no upgrades at all.
Whoa. Oh wow. Both of these are kind of like one is like holy crap, and the other one's depressing. When I first started working at Walt Disney World, I was in the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique in Cinderella Castle. I was a fairy godmother in training and helped do little girls' hair, makeup, and nails. It was easily one of the most fun jobs, plus we got tips. One thing that sticks out though is I had a little girl come in and they found 2 strange lumps in her scalp. I thought maybe they might be moles, but on further inspection, they were 2 ticks.
Oh,
We have a code for lice, Pumbaa, but I wasn't really sure what to call this one. I called the manager over and she pulled the parent aside and explained the situation and that we would be unable to do her daughter's hair because of the ticks. The mother grabbed her daughter out of the chair and then took a Kleenex and ripped the ticks out of her daughter's head and handed them to the manager and the Kleenex.
oh,
Dude, hardcore! I like it!
Damn.
We were all
That-
kind of in shock, but she got her done.
Dude, that's parenting.
Jesus Christ.
Come on, high five.
That is hardcore parenting.
That's proper parenting.
Holy shit.
I know, I kinda want that kind of parent.
Yeah.
Why? What?
Dude,
Get
I
stuff
wouldn't
done.
get ticks to begin with.
So, unfortunately, it gets depressing. Not because of this story, but because of a separate one. Also, had the kid ask how a peach and brown could be friends, referring to myself and one of my good friends in the boutique who is African American. That was a really awkward one, especially since the mom was a CBS cast member.
Wow.
Yeah. That's just like, come on.
That's special.
Wow. It was so depressing it killed Bontaku. You see what you did? You see what you did?
Bontacoon exists on happiness.
CDS, you're just cursed. I'm not sure what sort of inking god you pissed off, but...
He made
Well-
GSD mad one day.
How? I've done nothing but praise the guy.
You were the shittiest fucking Slayer and your praises... It just rings hollow, come on. You don't even upgrade your weapons.
Dude,
You
I'm
are too poor for me
upgrade
to
my
like
weapon.
You don't have enough money to get my respect.
Oh my god.
Okay, I like GSD a bit more now.
This is... What the hell?
Oh god. It's like finding out Santa isn't real.
Well, actually, he is real. He's shown up in a few events. He just doesn't visit you because you're poor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
visits-
your family is poor.
He visits me. He just kind of like, he's like, what do you want? And I'm just like, I don't know, man. And he's like, yeah, I don't actually have anything for anyone. Sorry.
It's okay,
I'm not
Stan,
even
you want-
really Santa.
Just a costume. The real Santa, he died a long time ago.
He fell off my roof.
I took his suit, made a movie.
It didn't actually go
Called
that
Santa
way.
with muscles.
You know, kinda.
Strut outfits. Why?
Ugh.
Ew, struggle fit. Worst answering DFO.
No, I think that CEO letter was.
Yeah, you know what, yeah.
Yeah, it's your fault you didn't pay enough for the game. I know a bunch of you spent over 10 grand. Seriously, some people.
Oh my god, hates me.
It might not just be a god, it could be multiples at this point.
It's okay,
Or
Stan.
fuck.
0%!
You wanna know who still loves you, Stan? C.S. Lewis.
I don't even know who that is.
He's a
Comedian.
writer.
Oh.
He wrote
Oh,
Chronicles of Narnia. I think he's dead though, so. And he may not know who you are, Stan.
On the inside.
Well, no one knows who you are on the inside because you're all closed in. You're like a book that's closed with the cellophane.
I assure you, I am nowhere near that complex.
Yeah, he's basically a brochure. A one-page brochure.
Pretty much.
One time, my brother and I got stuck inside the Pirates of the Caribbean water ride for about 20 minutes. Imagine being stuck there and listening to Yo Ho Ho or Yo Ho Yo Ho the Pirates Lake for Me on repeat.
Oh.
Was about 15 minutes in that my brother and I inside the ride yelled, "At least turn off the music." They did.
Oh, I wish they had turned it up.
I worked at Disneyland in college. It's oddly weird seeing a mouse character without a head. Even worse when the mouse character is the boy mouse, but the person inside is a very aged female. If I remember correctly, she was smoking too, which I thought was odd since I didn't think those in a costume could smoke in them. Backstage at Disney can ruin all the normal fun of the park. It's a great experience though. Worked at Cedar Point, not Disney World. I heard that 90% of the guys at Cedar Point were gay. Can confirm this is true. Crazy story though. Most of the park police are retired inner city cops. Detroit, Cleveland, Philadelphia. And they do not take anything. It's hilarious because inevitably some punk thinks that there has to only be rent-a-cops around, and so they do stupid stuff. I've seen these cops suplex people that try to start shit. It's awesome.
Dude.
Also, ride malfunctions get pretty insane, as you can imagine. People don't realize how close they could be to a serious accident.
At least I cleared it very handily this time.
Yep. Went a lot slower last time.
Yeah. Okay. So first phase over.
Oh, that's just awful.
But
A guy in one of my classes works on the monorail. Today, a father brought his 9-year-old daughter to Magical Kingdom and had a complete heart failure on the way into the park.
oh,
That timing, though?
That is some pretty nasty timing. Oh, God.
Jesus Christ.
Just like, oh, dear Lord.
Hey, man.
Hey, man, you're shaking it all wrong.
But Leo, shaking it all I know.
Well, let me show you how it's done. And then I proceed to just sit there and stare at you.
on phase dose. We can do it. I believe in us. We have the ability.
We do, you don't.
Shut up.
You're on your own.
In the end, you are on your own.
In America.
Hush.
What? I posted already, but I remember another story that happened to my friend when we both worked in Magic Kingdom Custodial last fall. She was cleaning the women's restroom and noticed that a little girl hadn't left the bathroom and was just staring at the stall. She asked her if she was waiting for someone, and she said no. She asked what was wrong, and the little girl said she needed a poop, and the only way she could do it is if someone sang "Let It Go" with her.
Wow.
And that's how my friend found herself singing "Let It Go" in a Magic Kingdom bathroom with a little girl she had never met before while she pooped.
Wow. What the hell?
What sort of sense does that make?
I don't know. Kids are weird.
I hate parents. Where's the Batman?
No. Just tell her to go in, then loom over the stall and shriek at her.
Let it go!
Do it
It
death
just
metal
all
cover.
floods.
Bonus
Pretty
points if your
cool.
head spins.
Let it go.
Let it
Can't hold it in anymore.
Let it go or you're going to prison.
Oh god.
go. How horrifying.
Jesus Christ.
Worked for Disney a while back. Wait, what are you saying? What are you doing? What are you gonna do? Are you gonna do it?
Doing what?
You gonna survive?
Yeah.
Think so?
Yeah. I'm outside that range.
What if they just
Stan, you want to go to Disney World?
No, not after some of these stories.
It just
be
makes
fun.
me want to go more.
Yeah. Sometimes, Stan, you need to find the joy in things that are not what they seem.
and poop backstage?
Yeah.
Well, you're not supposed to be backstage anyway, so...
Very true. So you'll never see. Basically, everything within the park is exactly how Disney wants it, and it will be the experience that you want. Just don't go backstage. You're not supposed
Just
to.
don't work for Disney.
Yeah, pretty much. A lot of people say it's great, but you see some serious shit.
Literally.
Yeah.
The dude had to clean up Shaq's shit. That's just weird.
That's quite an experience that you'll never forget. And at least you can say it was Shaq.
Yes.
Could be worse. Could be a Brazilian tour group going backstage and pooping on the walls.
That'll be his epitaph. I cleaned up Shaq's shit.
No, the entire group going into the same bowl.
Oh my. Oh god. I always feel horrible when talking about just like, oh, you know, Brazilians, etc. But why? I don't know what it is. It's just this always seems to happen. And no one seems to say, hey, not all Brazilians.
Instead, they're all like, yeah, fuck Brazil. Just,
Man, what the
No.
hell?
they're like, I'm from Brazil, fuck them.
Yeah, and I don't get it. It's like, I don't like stuff like that, like stereotyping and all that. But it's just, why does it keep happening? I don't get
God
it.
is not pleased.
I don't know.
God hates your cookies.
No, all of
Must be some kind of weird cultural thing I don't know about. But yeah, I worked for Disney a while back, so things may have changed. As cast members, we're allowed to make the magic happen in a whole new level. You come in with your cute kids to get cookies, and the line is huge, and they wait patiently, and you're nice to everyone. Have this chocolate strawberry princess and have a magical day. You're nice, apologize when your kid makes a mess in the store. We really don't care. The cute ones always get excited. Here's a sticker for you, little fella. But oh my god, if you are rude, yell, or think we should lick your boots because you're paying. Now, some stuff the public doesn't see. Princesses having their food breaks, it's pretty funny to see them in costume eating and talking on the phone. The romance between the princes, Aladdin and Peter Pan were apparently the cutest couple. The amount of times the I guess CPs, so I guess costume performers, go to work with a hangover, how creepy the park is at night when everyone is gone, and how creepy the costume place is. I call the costume place the butchery, since all the character heads are hanging upside down from the friggin' hook. Trust me, you don't want to see that.
Jesus.
Also, the Mickey in the entrance of Hollywood Studios, that's actually a lightning rod for when we had those amazing Florida storms.
Huh.
Mickey Mouse channels electricity through his body to save everyone.
That's awesome.
He also uses it to empower himself for his next dark rides.
Pretty much.
Did you know I am the thunder?
A family friend who played Aladdin at Disney World, very gorgeous Italian guy, actually married a girl who played Jasmine, very gorgeous Italian girl. I think. I'm not sure if she's Italian, but just gorgeous girl. It was an amazing wedding, as her family was filthy rich. Wedding at the biggest Catholic church in Seattle, reception was the top 2 floors of Columbia Tower, which is the tallest building in Seattle. Here I was in awe that I was in these amazing places, and they had a room at reception that was just chocolates. Yes, a chocolate room. But the truly cool thing was seeing my 5-year-old cousin in awe as Aladdin and Jasmine were dancing their first dance. It was magic. The bride even went out of her way to talk to her as Jasmine. Her own wedding, and she played the part. That's real special. Sadly, the marriage didn't last, but for that night, seeing a princess through a child's eyes is an amazing memory.
Look, I'm sorry, it's just not gonna last. I mean, that monkey thing, it's weird. I thought you'd get rid of him once we were together, but...
Nuh-uh. The monkey stays.
Monkey see, monkey do.
Monkey do-si-do.
He's taking a crap on her bed.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's the way I like my bed.
God.
Lord.
Ew.
Just like backstage.
It's gotten too ingrained in them.
Got programmed real hard. With it being my wife's first trip, she wanted to do everything, including pin trading. So we spent about half the trip covered in Disney pins, and at one point a little girl and her custodian came up and asked to trade. She looked at our pins and then remarked that she was disappointed that more people didn't trade. I told her that if she asked a lot of the cast members, they had pins to trade. A few minutes later, I saw her walk up to a cast member, and her face lit up when he pulled out a square pin about 8 by 8 inches. Not a super interesting tale, but, you know, it warms your heart because, you know, helping the kids and all that.
But couldn't we just destroy their hopes and dreams?
Yes.
Oh, good. It does have something for me.
On the first day of our trip, we got to Anaheim late in the afternoon and didn't want to waste a day at the park by using one of our passes. So we decided to go to downtown Disney. The fastest route for us to get there from a hotel was to cross through the security checkpoints at the entrance to Disneyland and DCA. So we crossed through, do some shopping, and decide to get dinner. Make a quick reservation and take our purchases back to our hotel. As we cross back through security, we see a guy walk up to the cast member and whisper in her ear. When we get through, the same guy appears in the crowd and discreetly shows us a badge, and he says it's Disney security. Instantly I'm like, what the hell? I've only been here a few hours. What could I have done? Guy points at my pocket knife, barely visible at the top of my pocket, so kudos to him on that, and says, can't have that. Totally forgot I had it because I'm so used to carrying it. Even at work where I have to go through almost airport level security minus the body scanners. Anyway, I apologize and tell them we're on our way. We get escorted to the exit, no harm, no foul. So holy crap, laser focus on Disney security.
Seriously.
Well, that's what you get paid for.
pretty much. Wow. So our last day in the park, we're at New Orleans Square, getting lunch, and the fire alarms start going off. We were on the patio of the restaurant and didn't see or smell any smoke, so we just kept eating and figured something got burned in the kitchen. You know, stuff happens. Then a cast member comes out and tells us they're evacuating the square and we have to go. We ask about the check and they tell us it's on the house for the inconvenience. We start to head over the bridge and notice the Old West area and it's crazy packed, so we decide to take the train. As we head toward the station, I notice that cast members are shutting the doors to the shops, to be expected, but they're locking themselves in the shops. We get to the train and they say it's closed. We make our way out on foot and wander around the park for a while. A couple hours later, we decide to take the train to get somewhere else. Christmas is crazy busy and the train was usually empty, so it's a good way to rest and not to deal with crowds. When we get there, the cast member says it's closed. My wife asks if it has anything to do with whatever happened in the square, to which he replies, "There's nothing going on in New Orleans Square." My wife says, "Yes there is, we were just there." And the cast member gets this look on his face like Tommy Lee Jones in Men in Black and repeats himself, "There is nothing going on in New Orleans Square."
I like conspiracies.
My wife started a protest, and I guided her away because I knew what that look meant. I give it to people a lot when I tell them I can't talk about my job, and they still press for info. To this day, we still don't know what happened, so if any employees happen to see us and know, comment and mention it. So let's see if anyone knows. Come on, don't let me down. Don't let me down, Reddit. Someone's gotta know. Someone's gotta know the biz.
No, given that I gave him the Tommy Lee Jones face, there might have actually been an alien invasion.
Well, come on. They already told them what went down. Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing went
Nothing at
down.
all.
Look, if you were just in the square, then you should understand that nothing was going on.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what's the big deal then, you know?
It's a whole lot of fuss over nothing, sir.
A friend of mine used to maintain some of the attractions. Says that people would sprinkle the cremated remains of their loved ones in random places in the park. They said they even had a special dustbuster set aside if they came across ashes. So yeah, don't take cremated remains to Disneyland or Disney World, either one, because they will just vacuum it up and they'll get all mixed up with everyone else.
Yep.
Don't do that.
Holy way to go.
That's
Yeah.
very holy.
A little late to the game, but my mom works as an Imagineer. While she was overseeing A Bug's World at Disney's California Adventure, she somehow ended up taking the animatronic Hopper's legs home. We had dinner with a giant pair of grasshopper legs at the end of the table. Back in the day, the company used to shut Disneyland and California Adventure down for an employee Christmas party. Discounted everything and no lines. There's apparently been quite a few deaths at Disney. It's generally not common knowledge to be the happiest place on Earth.
Right.
Most people don't know that an employee was once crushed while working in the Carousel of Progress / America Sings. They ended up between two walls where the rotating theater comes to a stop, completely smashed, and the entire audience heard the scream.
Oh.
Jesus.
Dude, awesome!
God damn.
That's metal.
Yeah, literally, that's how he got crushed.
Oh.
I think it might have been cement.
But it was still being pushed by metal.
Yeah.
Yeah, not worth it.
Though apparently the claim of people hearing the screams was only one guest reported it. So at least it wasn't this big thing.
Yeah.
So
But still, though.
that's not a way you want to go ever.
No. Like,
But I'd like to see it.
Hey, you wouldn't.
I would.
There's apparently other things happened. There's a video going around of the screen, but it's completely fake. Does anyone really even believe that if a video of this accident existed, that the Disney Corporation would allow it to ever become public?
Yeah, pretty much.
The person who tried to upload it would probably be hauled off to prison. Disney prison.
Or, taken care of, as they say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Disney prison.
Yeah.
Go to Disney prison.
Yeah, apparently, there's been a few Disneyland deaths and all that. But not much details on them, thankfully. Let's see. Yeah, here's some better ones. Not an employee. I do had an amazing experience. 2 years ago was my first time going. At the time I was 29. Yeah, I was excited as any child could possibly be. As my girlfriend and I were purchasing our own tickets from the themed hotel we were staying at, I casually commented to her how excited I was to finally be here and fulfill a childhood dream. The woman who was printing out passes heard this. With a huge smile, she handed me a first-time visit pin for me to wear. Throughout the day, dozens of park employees welcomed me or told me to enjoy my visit. I even received special attention from passing cast members in costume. We entered our first night at Space Mountain. This, of course, was the ride I was most excited for. After our ride, the park was closing and we were some of the last people to ride Space Mountain. As we were walking out nearing the exit, I realized I left my sunglasses in the netting provided on most of the rides. Walked back to the ride and asked one of the attendants if they found a pair of sunglasses. After a few minutes, they confirmed they had them. Expecting them to get them and bring them to me, I was surprised when they invited us to go back inside the ride's boarding area. My glasses are given back to me, and the operator noticed my first-time visit pin. He then asked if we wanted to ride Space Mountain again. The ride was completely empty, and we got to sit in the front car.
Dude. Awesome.
Yeah, again, going to Disneyland is fine. Just don't work there.
Don't work there. Or don't ever go backstage. Ever.
Well, you're not supposed to.
There's a reason you're not supposed to, apparently.
Okay, look, we'll make this the best week you've ever had, right? You're just going to need to sign over a few infant souls.
Yeah.
It's nothing but positive. Like, you gotta work in Disney as evil somehow.
The security at Disney parks and even the Disney cruises are extremely trained and can be paid quite well. From the normal gate guards and Disney police to their anti-terrorism aspect, those guys are hired as defense contractors and are paid as such. Disney does not take active shooters or terrorism lightly. Their cruises have a small detail of armed anti-piracy personnel on the boat, too.
Damn you, Archangel.
Apparently Disney had to let the guy who plays Gaston and did the push-ups go.
Aww.
And the reason why... I don't know, it's kind of weird.
He was the best.
The kids liked him too much.
That's actually what it was.
Wow, really?
Yeah. He was let go because he became his own character outside of Gaston. He was so good at being Gaston that his like people wanted him specifically as Gaston.
Wow.
But because people were thinking of, you know, that guy who plays Gaston really well rather than Gaston, it kind of ruins the magic for the kids, so it makes it harder to please people, so Disney had to let him go.
Okay, on the one hand, I can kind of get that. On the other hand, they're just upset that he was the best Gaston they've ever had.
Yeah.
If anything, they should be, demanding the others step their game up. Gaston was the best hero.
Oh my god. We knew ye well, Gaston.
Yeah. I actually had a seizure in one of the gift shops in Magic Kingdom. Shit luck, I know. Medics were there literally seconds after it started, and I was in an ambulance like maybe a minute later. It was a minor seizure, but holy crap were they fast. Even in an insanely crowded area, they had me out of the park in minutes, and actually gave my family and I a bunch of free gifts from the shop.
Nice. Keep the happy stories coming, otherwise my team will die.
Okay,
Quick, depressing stories.
No!
I skipped one on purpose.
Good.
Partially because it was a little cringy. Here's a good one. Summer 2014. Worked as part of the landscaping department in Epcot and a couple of resorts. Working outside 40 hours a week in the Florida summer was challenging, but I can definitely say it was one of the best jobs I've ever had. Anyway, I was backstage at Epcot after work one day. I saw Elsa and a character attendant heading towards the Norwood Pavilion. She wasn't in full costume yet, but she had her makeup done and the wig on. She was drinking an iced coffee, which she accidentally dropped. So, Elsa's drinking an iced coffee, right? Not in full costume, but still looks like Elsa. Drinking an iced coffee, which she accidentally drops. She paused for a few seconds, looking at it, and just screamed, "Son of a fuck!"
Wow.
On a more serious note, I worked at the Yacht and Beach Club for a little while. Overnight, some nutcase threw a rocks glass from the top floor in the sand pool. The custodial didn't get all of it. Some poor little kid got her foot all cut up, and me and a couple of the other landscapers were the one taking care of the mess long before the custodians or even first aid showed up. I had to run up and tell the clueless lifeguard they had to shut down the pool. It was pretty awful, but there were so many amazing guests that helped the little girl and their family out before first aid finally showed up. I'm sure if they raised a stink, they would have everything comped free passes pretty much forever.
Yeah.
Apparently, don't go to the turkey cart.
Why not?
Former cast member here, worked in outdoor food and beverage for a little over 2 years. Depending on the time of year, you can find a turkey cart that'll be open in Liberty Square. Don't go to it! It is perhaps one of the grossest locations I've ever worked, and I've dealt with food waste and garbage juices daily. Basically, throughout the day, the cooks will bring out turkey legs, and I heard that these turkey legs aren't even good turkey legs anyway, they're mostly like bone and tendon, and pile them into this heater as needed. Sounds fine, right? Wrong, because the cart doesn't get wiped out or cleaned until the end of the day. You have this turkey juice building up at the bottom of the heater. As the day progresses, it begins to start to turn into this greasy, sticky, gelatinous mess. It's the grossest stuff I've ever dealt with. So if you ever decide to eat a turkey leg at Disney, just remember that it's been basting in its own several-hour-old lukewarm juices. Whoa.
And Starman, these stories are coming from Reddit, so take them for what they're worth.
And none of the stories are fake, apparently. So they could be, but anything could be. Or for Disney in 2006 at MGM Studios. I was 19. I had never been there before in my life. I can tell you that the underground passageways, though, are real, elaborate, and odd. Magic Kingdom has an extensive honeycomb underneath it. They're mainly used by staff to get from one place to the other as fast as possible, as I found out. A door led up to a closet behind the stage of the Hall of Presidents. Another opened up a false wall behind a tiny exhibit. Very strange. When I was working there, I was approached to be one of the people in the Goofy costume because of my height. When I asked what happened to the other Goofy, I was told the actor was playing Jessie, the Toy Story character, a few days ago. A popular game by local assholes is to kick the female costume characters to find out if there's a guy in the suit. So this poor guy was the unfortunate victim of this game, as was the woman standing right beside him in the Woody costume. They kicked her so hard that she was rushed to the hospital. Yeah, douchebag. Douchebag guests. Don't work at Disney.
Yeah.
Like I said, a lot of people really like it, but it's just, if you get unlucky, you're not going to have a
You're
good time.
done.
I wore the costume for an afternoon just to help out, and will never put on one of those damn things ever again. As I walked out of the dressing area, I ran into a smaller girl in a Stitch costume who laughed at how awkwardly I wore the suit and said, cheerfully, "Be thankful you don't have a tail." When I asked why, she told me about her coworker who had been in the Tigger suit. The tails are held into place by being screwed into a large metal plate inside the suit, and, for the most part, depending on how tall you are, the plate sits just at the base of your spine. So when someone gave Tigger a huge bear hug, they ground the metal plate right into her coworker's spine and left her paralyzed.
Oh.
Another tiny behind-the-scenes thing that you might look out for next time you're there is the phrase, "Have a Disney day." It will typically be said as politely as possible. That's Disney speak for go fuck yourself. I let that slip to a couple of tourists once while hanging out at Pleasure Island. Nearly all Disney employees hang out there on Thursday nights after getting paid. These people had been treated like complete crap by nearly everyone that they had come into contact with. When I told them what the phrase meant, I was almost immediately approached by a stereotypical Florida tourist type in a Tommy Bahama shirt and sandals, wearing sunglasses. It was the higher-ups. They are everywhere, and they were listening and watching everything. I was warned that I would be fired if I ever said anything like that to a tourist again. Most people don't understand just how much Disney owns. They own ABC. They own Touchstone Pictures. They own companies you think that Disney would never own. I worked for the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire attraction back when that was still a thing. Every tourist who sits in on the show panel or in the hot seat is filmed. They must all sign a contract before entering the stage. I had to read inside those same contracts. The actual wording states that Disney has the right to use your likeness throughout the universe. Shit, Reddit. Throughout the fucking universe.
Dude, that's awesome.
That's hardcore as shit.
It is. It means everything, really.
But,
Doesn't
like,
really.
but like, yeah, they're
Literally.
not. Apparently, they're not exaggerating when they say Disney's everywhere in this list.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Some people say this one is likely fake, though.
Oh.
One person says, "I'm actually a character, and no one would ever just randomly approach you to be Goofy one day. You have to audition." Also, Tigger does not have a metal plate for the tail. He has a strong magnet. Tails are great, by the way.
Okay, good.
But this was from 2006, this particular one. So things could be different, but someone says even in 2006 that wouldn't fly. All the character performers actually go through a very extensive audition process and then extensive training that takes a long time. They even do 3D body scans now to make sure your body can handle the weight of the costume without sustaining any damage over time, so you don't sue them later in life for ruining your back or whatever. I talked to someone who went down to be a character performer because she made it through the process up until the 3D scan, and after failing that scan was made to do quick service food for the rest of her college program instead.